Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Would you like even more content? Here's my Patreon. Now onto the stories. Case file number 1212, written by MikaTheGreat. Black fog invaded our living room. My mom, brother, and I are sitting in the living room watching TV. Out of nowhere, this thick black fog, about 3 feet in the air, maybe 3 inches thick, spreads across the center of the room. We all stared at it and looked back and forth between each other, confused, and it disappeared maybe 20 seconds later. We all saw it, acknowledged that we all saw the same thing, and that it was unimaginably weird. We were robbed. Well, we assume. But they stole my pink Converse low tops, my mom's gold cross necklace, half of the money in my brother's wallet, and a few of my dad's work shirts, which say his company name on them. It was a bizarre combination of things to realize we were missing in the morning. Case notes for file 1212. Black fog invaded our living room. Yeah, today is just a foggy story day. What else can you say? There is an essence to fog that is mysterious in of itself. Even if there's no other entity there, this almost sounds like just a robbery where someone blew in smoke to distract you and then robbed you. It's very odd. But I do think there are entities that are capable of manipulating fog, which really is just condensation from the atmosphere. It's water vapor, more or less. It's clouds on the ground. The fact that it was black, though, is very odd. Maybe it really was just a human manipulating that to make you, it's like a magician's trick, almost. But no matter if it's human or supernatural, it's very weird. And I'm glad I don't experience that. Reminds me too much of The Mist. Case file number 1213, written by financewiz. Teenagers versus eerie fog. One night, we decided to deliberately call up whatever was hanging around. We began our discussion on topics known to have the desired effect. We held this little session out on the front lawn of my friend's house. Shortly, we spotted a cloud of fog far away across the valley. Abruptly, the fog was standing like a wall mere feet away from us. "Look at this," I said, pointing at the ground. "You can see where it terminates in the grass." Then it swept over the both of us. My neck seized up, and I couldn't move or speak. I sat there helpless, wondering why my friend wasn't saying anything more. I started to panic, because it felt like I was being drained and beginning to forget who I was. And just like that, it was gone. We were both stone cold sober during this little visit. The strangest thing about the whole experience to me, immediately afterward, me and my friend skulked back into the house and instinctively never spoke of it again. A response to the curious, the subjects we spoke of that seemed to cause these visitations was garden variety teenage science fiction nerd stuff. Alternate dimensions and such, the sort of subject matter that immediately lessens your credibility and makes everyone assume you're high. I have had a couple of other odd experiences in my time, but those occurred to me alone and can be dismissed as a subjective hallucination. One experience that puzzled me for years I was finally able to identify as a migraine halo. This particular experience was frightening, and I chose not to mess with whatever it was. I did see this characteristic fog again and stayed the hell away from it. It was not evil or demonic, just indifferent and powerful. It checked us out and left. I cannot begin to say what the hell it was. For the record, I am science-minded and do not believe in ghosts or the afterlife. But I also believe that human science represents an extremely limited picture of the world we live in. So let's not jump to conclusions. We don't know everything yet. Case notes of file 1213. Teenagers versus eerie fog. Sounds like an entity surrounding your home in particular. The fog is just the vehicle, not the entity itself. This isn't replicated by anyone else, since millions of teenagers discuss supernatural stories, aliens, etc., dimensions on their front lawns. Location dependent, feeling a presence. I had read this the other day, and it's a being called Faith Fiada, Old Irish, Faith Fiada, etc., etc. It's a magical mist or veil in Irish mythology, which members of the Tuatha De Danann used to enshroud themselves, rendering their presence invisible to human eyesight. Faith denotes the mist in particular, and Fiada originally meant knower, then came to mean lord or master possessor. But the fog itself isn't what's real or the entity. It's not the sentient being. It's just a mechanism. It's like an ability cast in a video game almost, which is kind of neat. And I think that's the case. There's multiple stories of people encountering even monsters. And I think it's the ability to manipulate perception. The fog is maybe the vehicle or mechanism to combine human sentience with their own spirit. So it's like you need an emulsifier to combine water and oil. In this case, the fog acts as some sort of binding mechanism. Bonus file written by Anonymous. The tale of a haunted purple dinosaur. My friend was explaining to me why she took sleeping pills. Apparently, when they lived in Georgia, they bought an older house, rich family, very nice home, which had some character. She claimed to find some old purple dinosaur in the crawl space while her dad was fixing some plumbing. Played with the dino for a few weeks, always slept with it in her bed, among other toys. One day she woke up to it standing in her chest in a different molding or position than when she had found it, or it had been in the past few weeks. Set it aside. Then next 3 weeks, same thing. Didn't matter if she put it on the floor, in a drawer, or anything. One day, she locked it up. Couldn't sleep. Heard the drawer unlock, open, and slam shut. Slight footsteps, and it was back on her chest. She was scared, petrified. She pretended to sleep while it shifted and sat on her chest, and watched her sleep. She told her mom the next day. Her mom didn't believe her, of course, until she was allowed to lock the damn thing in their room. Same damn thing. They moved to another house after other paranormal things started happening around that house. The dino stayed at the original house, buried if I remember right, for a year and a half. One day it appeared at their new house just standing like they found it on the kitchen counter. Got rid of it for good. I think they burned it and ditched it in the river, never to be seen again. Friend has a repeating nightmare that goes away with the pills. She's older now and can't drink because of said pills. Has made numerous emergency hospital trips to find scratches on her body. The hospital claims are from night terrors. Now, maybe I'm just a freak about scary stories or freaking toys that talk, but that seriousness on her face and the tears that welled in her eyes, I was sold. Not sure if it's true, but I believe her. Whether I want to or not, scary crap. Kid you not, I had trouble sleeping in her current house. She was 13 when the dino thing happened. She is 10 years older now. Okay, so notes for the bonus file. The tale of a haunted purple dinosaur. So, possessed objects, or maybe cursed, but I think invoked to manifest a fragment of a spirit, and a spirit is but a fragment of the original person's soul that passed away. So it wouldn't have much energy tethered to it, but enough to bring it back each time it was tossed away, even buried underneath the earth. My God, imagine that. Just, you're there, you set up a camera on the ground where you dug this grave for the dino toy that's possessed, and you see it digging itself out. What a sight that would be, my goodness. Would send shivers down my spine, that's for sure. And then it was actually scratching her. Well, maybe that really was just night terrors and she was scratching herself from the trauma of the, and I mean, I don't even say that lightly. I mean, that would be traumatic to have a dino toy watching you and always on you as you awake. What the hell? How can you recover from that? Could never fall asleep again. And it's interesting that the fire seemed to have purged it. It's more evidence that it was a spirit tethered to it. Fire is the cleansing mechanism for the mortal realm. It purges everything. I guess with salt too, if you go into that lore. But yeah, fire itself I think is the key. And now time for the quote of the day. But Dumbledore says he doesn't care what they do, as long as they don't take him off the chocolate frog cards. J.K. Rowling. If I was Dumbledore, I would want to remain on the chocolate frog cards as well, mainly because I could literally eat a version of myself as a frog. And there would be a frog associated with my own being. I mean, I'm not really a frog kind of guy, but there is a kind of legacy, I guess you could say, to be on candy. Maybe not immortal, but candified immortal. It's the next best thing. Get some jelly beans that play a story with my voice as you open the box or something. That would be a bit odd, but I'll go with it. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.